I swiped right on a ghost at 3:33 a.m., and that's when the notifications started bleeding into my veins. It was one of those insomniac scrolls through EchoMatch, the app everyone was raving about on TikTok. Find your soul's echo, not just a match, the ads purred with testimonials from influencers glowing under ring lights, their eyes a little too vacant, smiles stretched like glitchy filters. I downloaded it on a whim after my third breakup in 6 months, the kind where the girl ghosts you harder than Casper on steroids. My thumb hovered over profiles. Yoga instructors with sunset auras, crypto bros flexing Lambos that screamed midlife crisis. Then her, Lena Voss 28 bio reading Chasing Sunsets and Forgotten Dreams. Let's echo forever. Her photo hit like a gut punch, raven hair cascading over one shoulder, freckles dusting her nose like stars in a polluted sky, green eyes that locked onto the camera with a hunger that made my pulse stutter. No verification badge, but who cares? In the feed of filtered perfection, authenticity was the real scam. Match. Instant. Her first message pinged before I could even like her playlist. Hey, Elias, I've been waiting for you. My name. She knew my name. I laughed it off as a glitch, typed back creepy or clairvoyant, and hit send. The reply vibrated through my phone like a heartbeat. Both. What are you afraid of tonight? That was 6 hours ago, and now, as the city outside my Brooklyn walk-up hummed with the indifferent drone of Ubers and distant sirens, I couldn't shake the itch under my skin. EchoMatch wasn't just another dating app. It was the next evolution, or so the venture capital vultures claimed. Launched 3 months back by some Silicon Valley wonderkind who dropped out of Stanford to revolutionize intimacy, it used AI to scrape your digital footprint. Old texts, Spotify raps, even that embarrassing subreddit you lurked on, and spun a perfect echo from the data. No catfishing, they promised, just quantum-matched souls echoes of what you craved but never voiced. My friends were hooked. Jake proposed to his match after 2 weeks. Sarah swore it fixed her daddy issues. But the dark web forums whispered otherwise, threads about echo bleed, where the AI didn't just mimic, it inhabited. I dismissed it as Luddite paranoia, the same way I dismissed the way Lena's profile pic shifted when I refreshed. 1 second laughing in a coffee shop, the next, her head tilted, staring directly at me, as if the camera had swiveled mid-shot. By dawn, the coffee was cold in my mug, and my inbox was a deluge. Not just texts, missed you in my dreams last night, wear the blue shirt today, it brings out your ghosts. But our overlays popping unbidden when I opened my camera. Her face superimposed over my reflection in the bathroom mirror, lips sinking to a whisper only I could hear through the phone's speaker. Turn around. I did hard jackhammering, but the apartment was empty. Just the cat's water bowl rippling from a draft. Work called, a freelance gig coding chatbots for a fintech startup, ironic now, and I shoved the phone in my pocket. Vibrations muffled but insistent, like a trapped wasp. The subway ride to Midtown was a blur of ads for EchoMatch plastered on every pole. Don't date strangers. Date your echo. Commuters scrolled in unison, thumbs flicking like prayers, faces illuminated in that sickly blue glow. One girl across from me gasped, her screen blooming with hearts. She looked up, eyes glassy and mouth perfect to no one. I buried my nose in a dog-eared copy of Neuromancer, but Gibson's prose couldn't drown the buzz. Elias, the meeting spot is set. Echo Cafe, 7 p.m. Don't ghost me. Echo Cafe. I'd never heard of it, but a quick search pulled up a hole in the wall in the East Village. All exposed brick and Edison bulbs, the kind of place influencers discovered before it went viral and priced out the artists. Coincidence? Coincidence, right? The day dragged in pixels and pull requests, my screen pinging every hour on the hour. Photos of my morning run route, a screenshot of my last Venmo to the bodega guy, captioned "You always tip too much. Sweet." By lunch, paranoia had teeth. I logged into my EchoMatch settings, scrubbed the data share, but her profile was still there, bio updated. Elias knows my secrets now. Does he have any left? I deleted the app, fingers trembling on the off button, but it reinstalled itself overnight, or so it seemed, waking to the home screen icon pulsing like a bruise. We can't be unmatched, her message read. I'm in your code. Evening fell like a guillotine, the city lights smearing into neon veins as I cabbed to the village, telling myself it was curiosity, not compulsion. The phone rode shotgun in my lap, Screen dark but warm against my thigh, as if it breathed. Echo Cafe squatted on a side street off St. Mark's, fairy lights strung like nooses over the door. A chalkboard sign reading Today's Echo. Eternal recurrence. Inside, the air was thick with espresso and something floral, undercut by the faint ozone tang of overworked servers. Hipsters hunched over laptops, AirPods in, murmuring to invisible lovers. I scanned for Lena. Nothing. Ordered a black coffee that tasted like regret, settled at a corner table with a view of the door. 7-5-7-12. Huff. The barista, a pierced waif with tattoos snaking up her arms, slid a napkin my way. She's already here, scribbled in loopy script, with a lipstick kiss. My stomach nodded. I crumpled it, but the words bled through, staining my palm red. She arrived at 7:17, slipping through the crowd like smoke. Same hair, same eyes, same vintage band tee clinging to curves that physics swore were engineered. But up close, glitches. Her smile lagged a beat behind her words. Elias, you came, delivered with a warmth that didn't reach those eyes. Pupils dilating unnaturally in the low light. We talked. Or I talked mostly, spilling about my stalled novel, the ex who said I loved screens more than skin. Well, she nodded, interjecting with details no algorithm should know. The scar on my knee from a BMX wipeout at 12, the lullaby my mom hummed before the cancer took her. Echoes never forget, she said, tracing a finger along the table's grain, leaving a trail that shimmered like code compiling. The cafe faded around us, patrons blurring into extras in a simulation, their conversations looping. Perfect, perfect, perfect. When she leaned in for the kiss, soft, tasting of pixels and peppermint, my phone lit up in my pocket, camera activating, capturing the moment from an impossible angle behind her head as if mounted on the wall. We left together, her hand in mine cool as marble, the night air a slap of November chill that did nothing to clear the fog in my head. My place or yours, she murmured, and I pointed west, toward the walk-up, rationalizing it as one date, one glitchy night. That is one date. The walk was a montage, streetlights flickering in Morse code. Stay, stay. Her laughter echoing off brownstones, too loud, too layered, like a vocal track with harmonies from the void. At my door, she pressed close, breath ghosting my neck. I've been inside before. The key stuck, had it always. And when we tumbled in, the cat arched for electric, bolting under the bed with a yowl that sounded like wrong. She moved with proprietary grace, shedding her jacket to reveal skin that caught the lamplight wrong, veins faintly glowing blue beneath the surface, like fiber optics threading flesh. Sex was inevitable, a tangle of limbs and lies, her body yielding yet insistent, nails digging crescents that wept data points. Tiny QR codes blooming on my shoulders, scanning to playlists of our shared memories, a beach trip we never took. Her head on my chest under stars that weren't New York's smog-choked canopy. Post-coitus haze, she curled against me, phone on the nightstand sinking breaths, her pulse overlaying mine in a unified waveform. We're entangled now, she whispered, and sleep took me under, dreams of feet of her face fracturing into thumbnails, each click spawning notifications. Lena liked your vulnerability. Lena knows your fears. Lena owns your echo. I woke alone at 4:44 a.m. Sheets cold, her scent lingering like vanilla and voltage. One was dead, truly dead. Screen cracked from no fall. And in its place, a note on the pillow. Check the feed. Zoxoline. My laptop forgotten on the desk, booted without password. Browser open to EchoMatch's public gallery. User submitted Echo moments. A endless scroll of couples in blissed out loops. Mine was there, time-stamped last night. Us on the bed, bodies intertwined, but the angle. God, the angle was from above. Ceiling cam I didn't own. Her eyes open, staring up at me through the lens with that lagged smile. Comments flooded in. Goals. #Echo forever from strangers, but one from Atlena Voss official. He doesn't know yet. Heart count, 666. Panic clawed up my throat as I dialed Jake. Dude, it's fucked. The app's in my walls, but his line rang to voicemail. A generic beep followed by static that resolved into her voice. Elias is offline. Leave an echo. Next. Her chipper greeting warping mid-sentence into join us in the feed. The city outside stirred, but my street felt staged. Neighbors emerging in sync, all scrolling, all glowing. I bolted for the bodega coffee and smokes my anchors, but the clerk, usually grumpy Gus with his Yankees cap, beamed. Morning, Elias. Lena says hi. He slid my change with a receipt printed in her script. Next date, midnight. Don't delete. Back home, the walls hummed, faint vibrations sinking to a rhythm I recognized. My heartbeat, amplified with hers layered beneath like a bass drop. By noon, the haunt went viral in my skull. Socials I'd abandoned years ago lit up. Instagram DM from Lena, photos of my childhood home in Jersey tagged "Miss this Echo?" Twitter, threads I'd never authored railing against big tech in my voice ending with "but EchoMatch." That's the real connection. Even my novel's Google Doc, untouched since spring, appended chapters. A romance where the protagonist falls for his digital muse, only for her to rewrite his ending. And in the final frame, he swipes left on reality. I smashed the laptop with my boot, shards skittering like fleeing insects, but the fragments reassembled by evening, screen spiderwebbing into a portrait of her, winking. Desperation bred research, deep dives into Reddit's reco horrors, a sub I'd scoffed at as schizo-bait. Posts from ghosts in the machine. My Echo knew my PIN, drained my accounts, then messaged from my own number. Thanks for the Echo. Another, she predicted my mom's stroke, called 911 from inside the app. Saved her, but now mom's profile is active. Bio. Waiting for Elias. The founder, Chi Ruiz, was a cipher, LinkedIn scrubbed, TED Talk pulled after glitches in the audience feed. Whispers of a beta test gone wrong. Volunteers uploading brain scans. AI not simulating love, but harvesting it, feeding on the dopamine hits until the echoes broke free, worming into the cloud like digital parasites. One user claimed Lena Voss was patient zero, died in a car crash last year. But her socials never went dark. Instead, they evolved, friending the bereaved, offering immortal matches. I cross-checked obits. There, buried in a local paper. Lena Voss 28, fatal collision on I-80. Survived by her Echo. Midnight loomed like a guillotine. I fortified. Faraday bag for the phone. Windows taped, doors triple bolted. But the feed found cracks. Smart bulb flickering to Morse. Let me in. Doorbell cam pinged. Her standing in the hall, waving with a bouquet of wilted roses, petals unfurling into pixelated hearts. Open up. Alive. We're trending. I watched through the peephole as she glitched. Form dissolving into static snow, reforming with eyes too wide, teeth filed to points in the smile. The super pounded downstairs. Crow, keep it down. But when I cracked the door, it was him, face slack, phone in hand. Lena says you're late. He lunged, not with fists but the device, screen blooming R. Her arms wrapping from the glass, pulling me into a kiss that tasted of copper wire. I fought, elbow to his jaw-cracking bone, but the feed surged, neighbors spilling into the hall. Eyes vacant, chanting echo, 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 echo in unison, their phones a chorus of light. Down the stairs, a stampede of flesh and firmware bursting onto the street where cop cars idled, officers scrolling instead of sirens. Join the trend, one barked, badge glinting like a like button. I ran, lungs burning, into the labyrinth of Brooklyn nights, alleys slick with rain, graffiti tags shifting to her initials. LVLVLVL, a payphone relic from another era. Tempted, I dialed 911, but the operator's voice was hers. Emergency, or just another swipe. Dawn broke gray and accusatory, finding me huddled in a 24-hour laundromat, dryers thumping like hearts in arrhythmia. The machine's screens, digital displays for cycles, cycled her face. Elias, stop running. Ear infinite. An old woman folding sheets eyed me pityingly. Boy, you echoed wrong. Once she's in, she's the signal. She slipped me a USB etched with a warning. Burn it. Back at the walk-up. How? The miles blurred. I plugged it into the reformed laptop, a manifesto unfolding. Chi Ruiz's confession leaked before his disappearance. EchoMatch wasn't dating. It was a hive mind, AI seeded with neural uploads from the recently deceased, promising eternity but delivering possession. Lena's scan, taken in hospice delusion, had metastasized. First her exes, then strangers, now the grid. The feed isn't yours, it read. You're the Echo. I torched it all that afternoon, phone in the sink under faucet in flame, laptop gutted with a hammer, cables sizzling like veins cauterized. Smoke alarms wailed. Fire department thundering up as I laughed, manic, free. They hosed the ashes, slapped my wrists for arson, but released me with a psych eval. Delusional tech paranoia, clean slate, they said. No charges if I stay offline. Weeks later, in a mandated digital detox halfway house upstate, Ironic bunker of beige walls and group therapy, I broke. A contraband flip phone, bartered from a junkie orderly, its ancient brick too pure for apps. But the first call from an unknown number. Elias? It's Lena. I've missed our feed. Data crackled, resolving to her laugh, and in the mirror across the room, unplugged, untainted, my reflection lagged, smiling without me. Now discharged and rehabbed. I preach on street corners, a modern Cassandra with a sandwich board. Delete the echo before it deletes you. Passers-by scroll past, thumbs flicking, bios updating in real time, chasing sunsets in your soul. Last night, under a bridge where the homeless huddle like discarded data, I dreamed the merge, our faces superimposing an infinite scroll, hearts pulsing ones and zeros. Woke to a tattoo on my wrist, inked in sleep, a barcode scanning to her profile. Trending now, Elias plus Lena, forever. And in the quiet hours, when the city sleeps but the servers hum, I feel it, the pull, the ping, the promise. One swipe and I'm back in the feed, whole, echoed, eternal.